about this injustice or like laws of karma, because that was very much the topic I had on my mind when I came here. And sometimes I feel that explanation you just, again mentioned about that everything, is designed like that. We get our rewards, um, it's maybe a little bit too simplistic, and I feel that sometimes it's blocking us from being empathic.
No, not at all.
If we just feel like,
Not
okay,
at
this
all.
person has deserved that, so
No.
I shouldn't feel any empathy for
Not
that
at all.
person.
Not at all. It is due to empathy that we are helping those animals, that we are taking their milk and offering to Krishna. This is empathy. And if we can rescue them, we will rescue them. That's not excluding empathy. And our empathy goes actually beyond even what we see. Our empathy goes towards why the soul is incarnating, why the soul is suffering, because it's not connecting with Krishna, with God. It's a much deeper empathy. But at the same point, we also give the responsibility to that person for being where it is, where she is, or where he is.
How about our part?
Our part can be or cannot be.
Mm-hmm.
That's not any mandatory thing. That's not any mandatory thing. It could be in so many ways. We have to analyze things in a very practical way. I can't give you a general understanding for that, because sometimes someone can be indifferent, and it's fine. Well, I'm sorry, I can't help. I'm not bound to help. I feel compassion, I feel empathy, but I can't help. I have to be indifferent. That's fine also, because that's that person's freedom. That is that person also right. But if you think that everyone is bound to help and bound to do, then I think that is overextending. That's then we come to the policies. Then the government they may impose something to everyone. We can't impose, right? We can't impose. Sometimes, okay, I don't want to involve, because if I'm involved, I'm making karma for me. So many things are into account. So it's not that everyone is bound to do something or to help, but he might feel okay, it's bad. I'm also suffering, for you, but I can't do anything. It's also possible, right? Is that your point or not?
Yeah, kind of. Well,
I don't know if maybe she means, because sometimes we also see, at least we have made also this experience. Now maybe there is a devotee who has some problem really, but then it is some attitude that one very lightly says, no, but Prabhu or Mataji, whatever, that's just your karma. But the devotee actually needs a deeper answer, and maybe I don't know if it's something like that
one
that you are
aspect.
saying.
Yeah, for me it's more
How do we, because I think we made experiences sometimes like that in the community of Vaishnavas, not that then it is being used, that the karma, but like a way of actually not to go deeper,
and also
and how
just how Maharaj talked about humanity, that like the human beings are on the top of the development, like
Yes.
development. So for me, it's more the refugees, because I'm going back between West Africa and Switzerland. I'm seeing the contrast so strongly, and how these people are suffering, and how we're just turning, even we as devotees, we're just turning a blind eye. And I just feel like we should be so much more compassionate. Sometimes that concept or that belief in karma stops us from being empathic.
Well, I didn't want to sound like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in this position. I agree with you also. I agree with you. That's not what I wanted to sound like, that we are indifferent and not. No, that's not my point at all. That's not my point at all. We do need to be compassionate, and that's the quality of the Vaishnava. Vaishnava, he has one quality called Jivadoya. He's always concerned about the suffering of all living entities, not only human beings, but all living entities, and he's always trying to find a way to help that living entity to come to its proper, position. Okay, but that is in the spiritual side. I think the example you gave is a political aspect, right? But that political aspect we can't involve. We can't decide where someone will live, how someone will live. That we cannot. That's not in our hands as a general congregation of devotees. Unless you have a post in government that you can decide, okay, as a Vaishnava, you might use your power to do something in that regard. But what all devotees can practically do for all these issues? Nah? The world is full of issues, full of problems. That will always be. But what I want to say is that if you stop your own life, your own development to involve yourself in somebody else's problem, you will never do anything for yourself in a practical sense, in a spiritual sense. So for example, sometimes we need to isolate ourselves from the world and just go deep in our spirituality, right? Because our relation with Krishna is superior to our relation with any other living entity. So our love for Krishna has to be greater than our love for all the entities. If that is not, then there is something wrong. We can't replace human beings by Krishna, right? So sometimes our spiritual masters, they isolate themselves because spiritual life is our priority. So I really admire those who give their times for social work. I was also in social work when I was, before becoming a devotee. I used to work with homeless people, with illiterate people. I used to do a lot of. I lived in the favelas also, to help these people. And I come from a very, rich family. I gave up everything I had. I was living like the real, socialist should live, giving up its own, inheritance and everything and enjoying like that. But later I realized that actually I should do something for me. My life, my relation to God, this is priority. In the meantime of my journey, if I can help someone, I will help. But my priority is to help me. If I do not get liberated, then what is the point of, being here involved with the problems of the world? Because the nature of this world is to have problems. It's endless problem. It is beautiful, it is nice, it shows, but we cannot overextend that because this is not our real goal. We can't fix the material world. We can't fix it. Will be forever and never like that. Unlimited, endless problems. For ages and ages, it will be like this because this is the nature of the material world. So, as I told you, to some people, I recommend to be vegan. For some people, I recommend to do social work, but it's not for everyone. To others, I recommend you isolate yourself and do bhajan. You go deeper because now is your time. Yogis, they have to isolate themselves. They're not to be involved in the society's, problems. Otherwise, who will be the enlightened person in the society? Who will dedicate to study? Who will dedicate for chanting? If everyone will be, involved in so many things, then who will be that person? So, I know it sounds painful, but Vaishnavas are a little bit, realistic in the sense, okay, there is pain in this world, there is suffering in this world, but nevertheless, there is another goal. That goal is very blissful. And I can feel blissful, I can feel happy, even if there are many unhappy people around me. Understand? Because the danger of that, as I see, is when we start to bring in the problems and the suffering of the people in ourselves, in our lives. We cannot digest all these things. We will also be completely destroyed by that. So sometimes a type of indifference, it helps us, to protect ourselves. I see people sometimes involved so much with somebody else's pain and problems and sufferings that you yourself are creating a lot of problems for you, and you cannot even run properly and function properly. We cannot do like that. So to have empathy and to have compassion does not mean that I am suffering together with that person, or I am bringing, myself into that problem, into that life style, because I have a higher goal. I have a more important goal, and my goal is my relation with Krishna and Guru. So I have to have money to go to Vrindavan to do my pilgrimage. I must have time to chant my rounds, to study. If I dedicate myself fully to all the problems of the world, then my bhakti is in second, position. But bhakti should be in the first position. And the devotees, when they want to help, they will always help the people through bhakti. So if you want to feed the hunger, you must give them prasadam. If you want to help the homeless, you have to make them come to an ashram. One time in Mathura, our Parangurudev, when he opened the Keshavaji Gauriya Math in Mathura, he rented a big house. He bought actually a big house, a very old house, like many rooms, like 3 floors, like a huge place. And in the beginning, you don't have that many brahmacharis inside. So, Indians' policy is very much socialist. Indian state of policy is socialist, actually. It's not the conservative. Although Modi and the BJP, they are conservative party, Indian itself, after the independence, they are like socialists. So then the local mayor and other people, they came to Parangurudev and told, hey, you have a very big place, you have to feed homeless people inside. You can't have so many empty rooms like this. So we are bringing homeless people and we're putting here. We have now a project to stop all the homeless people in this Mathura. Parangurudev was saying, okay, I agree, you can bring, but I have one condition. They have to follow our rules. They have to live in the way we live. Then I provide them whatever they need. Oh yeah, no problem, definitely. They will be very happy. Oh, they will have free house, free food, medicine, clothes. Oh, I will fill up this very quick. Then they brought one first guy. And they told, oh, you're going to be here, nice environment, all these facilities you get. Oh, I'm so happy, thank you so much, okay? So every day, wake up 3:30, then take bath, then go for Mangalarati, then chanting rounds and doing kirtan. Then after you have to do services, cleaning, helping this, helping that. Then again you have lunch. After lunch you have to clean everything, wash the pots. Not wash pots because you're not a devotee, but clean the place, do some other things, Then little rest. Again afternoon, again kirtan, katha will be there. Then arati, then more seva. At night time prasadam. Then again after prasadam have to clean. You're going to sleep around 10 o'clock. Say, oh my God, I'll come back to the streets. Because on the streets I am free. I can be in my tamasic state. I can sleep as much as I want, So people are not ready for these higher things. So this type of charity we can do. But if we just open our doors and say, yes, come and do whatever you want. No, that's not actually helpful to those people. Because the real charity is to how to change the people's heart and their behavior. Just giving food and lodge, this is completely against our Gauriya philosophy. Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he wrote extensively about this in a book called Amritavani. It's a collection of questions and answers. He speaks a lot about all these things. He said we cannot do, because we're just maintaining that cycle of karma. Apparently we looks like we are helping, but we're not helping. Because we have to see beyond what's going to happen after with those people. When Swami Prabhupada, he came to Kumbh Mela one time, he was approached by one yogi, and the yogi asked him, what are you doing here, Swamiji? This is a place for yogis who can do miracles. What type of miracle can you do? Can you walk upon the waters? Can you sit on the fire? Can you bury your head on the ground and stay for 1 week? Can you levitate? Whatever. And Swami Prabhupada told, you see all these devotees with me? I turn animals into human beings. Before they were like hippies, unclean, unshaved, very dirty, smoking, drinking, having illicit relations, drugs, everything. Now you see how they're like Brahmins. So this is the real miracle. That's the real like social work that we came to do. So in our line, this is how we function. But I do believe that other people, for them, it's good to be totally inside of this social work. Like the Catholics, like the Christians in general, and other lines also like the Buddhists. For them, it's okay. They should do. But for Vaishnavas, I don't recommend. Because Vaishnavas have a very high purpose. And this birth you have taken is so rare. And the opportunity you have now to associate with pure devotees and to have the understanding of bhakti is so rare. It's so rare that you should only look up. Only look up how I will be out of this world as soon as possible. Not to be here taking, care of the, you cover a hole here, another hole appears. You cover the one, another one, You can't. Is it clear? Yes. I never speak politically correct, I really speak like, like the words of, our acharyas, and our acharyas, they were very, very strong. Because if we do not establish, these proper, teachings and this proper way of life, you get lost. And sometimes we think, and the society will, seduce us, to think, oh, you must involve yourself with all the problems. Stop doing whatever you do and just go for the problems. This is Maya. This is Maya speak on your ears. Stop your bhajan, waste your time there, give your money there. This is Maya. This is the spiritual view. But if you go to the materialistic view, like political view, definitely you'll find some injustice. You find that someone is wrong, someone is right, someone is a victim. No one is a victim. Everyone is taking the fruits of their karma. But now I come to your point. As Vaishnavas, we have a compassion which is beyond that karma. Even if you are a rich person sitting in the palace in a very nice, comfortable life, I am feeling compassion towards you because you are also suffering. You also have no connection with Krishna. And I want to help you in the same way I want to help that refugee or that slave, which is apparently also suffering more from the materialistic point of view. But in a spiritual point of view, both are suffering. Both are miserable. Both are slaves. Both are refugees. Because this is not our land. This is not our motherland. Our motherland is Goloka Vrindavan. We are all spiritual refugees here. So we must take into account the perspective. From which perspective you are speaking? From the political, from the spiritual, like that. Okay?